Welcome back to the Global Landscapes Forum. I'm Natasha Elkington, and I'm here with Marc Daubrey, who's the CEO for Impactum. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Thank
Morning.
Morning. Okay, so please tell us a bit more about your NGO, Impactum.
Well, we are a local NGO based in West Africa, but we are facing a few challenges for West Africa and also for all Africa, which is climate change. This is why our NGO decided to get involved into climate change. But we also consider that the best way to approach climate change and to make it more relevant in terms of impact was also to address agriculture and forestry. And this is what we are working on, these three pillars: climate change, agriculture, and forestry.
Okay.
But on the ground, implementing organization on the ground.
Okay,
Yes.
and I understand that you're also doing some work with the Rainforest Alliance.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, we are partnering with Rainforest Alliance because we consider that the two main things must be taken into consideration if we want to succeed into reforestation, agroforestry, and conservation. The first one is the land tenure issue, but most of all the tree tenure issue, because it is linked closely to the economic ownership of the farmer. In Côte d'Ivoire, for example, what we used to have like a situation is that the tree was belonging to the government,
Even if it's on your land.
even if on your land, on your farm.
Okay.
But things are changing. So now we have the new tree tenure, so that the farmer, when the farmer has the tree on his farm, it belongs to him. So you get more appropriation ownership. But this has to go along with economic incentives, so that the farmer understands that there is an economic value on the tree, and he also has an interest into preserving the forest. And we are also working on payment for environmental services, so that this is a kind of incentives on the result-based payment, so that all the economic mechanism and also dynamic around the wood, the forest, and the timber is taken into consideration. But with Rainforest Alliance, it's also a landscape approach, but sustainable landscape approach. What we used to have is that we had the government deciding for the landscape planning.
Okay.
And what we are doing with the Rainforest Alliance is that on the county basis, on community basis and level, we're getting this planning done together with the community, the farmers, the cooperatives, so that it's more sustainable. So when you add the tree ownership, the economic challenges around the tree, and the sustainable landscape planning, this is what our project is all about with Rainforest Alliance.
Wow, great. You have a lot of work ahead of you, it seems.
Yes, a lot. Challenging,
Yes.
but very interesting. And we think that we can make a real impact when doing that. Because Impactum is coming from making impact, and also sizing the momentum, because things needs to be done now, not later, now.
So please tell us about the main challenges that farmers are facing, like in West Africa, economic challenges.
Yes, when talking about cocoa, which is one of the major value chain in West Africa, because Côte d'Ivoire is the first cocoa producing country in the world. You have to consider that at the end of the day, the farmer doesn't get enough value from what he's selling. So this is why coming with agroforestry is also a way to diversify, to make livelihood better, to make additional income and revenue for the farmers. When they plant trees, sometimes they choose special species, fruit species, and usually women can sell them to the market. You also have the opportunity to have wool food, so that for energy consumption, domestic energy consumption, they can also address this issue. The idea is to say that this economic challenge is very key, And this is why the private company is also heavily engaged in West Africa through a cocoa and forest initiative. And we consider that community and social inclusion is key. We consider that conservation is key. We consider that agroforestry is key. And most of all, making all that sustainable with the communities, with the farmers at ground level.
Right, so you have a lot of work ahead of you.
Yes, a lot. Challenging. And this is why we are here for at the GLF, because we consider that it's an opportunity to share experience. We learned about a lot about Kenya experience. We learned about, during the discussions, the engagement of the private sector, of the financial sector, of the business sector in general. But this has to be a reality on the ground for the farmers.
As in, it has to be now, as in we have to do it
now, definitely. Make an impact and make it now as a momentum.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome.
And enjoy the rest of the forum.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you much. Cheers. Yeah.